This is Alan Ball.
Hi, this is Audrey Fisher.
This is Jim Perry.
Hi, this is Kristen Bauer.
Hi, this is Alexander Skarsgård.
This is Nelson Ellis.
Hi, this is Johnny Neal.
This is Rayo Tucker. Hi, this is Lindsay Pulsifer.
Hi, this is Ryan Quanton from True Blood.
Hello, this is Theo Alexander.
Hey, this is Lauren Bowles.
Hi, this is David Tishman.
This is Jay Everett.
Hello, this is Janina Gavankar.
This is James Frayne.
Hi, this is Courtney Ford, and you're listening to True Blood Radio.
This is Mel. Welcome to True Blood Radio podcast number 149 for the week of September 4th, 2011. Liz threw out her back over the weekend and didn't think she could focus what with the flying monkeys and the pink elephants brought on by the pain meds. So our editor, Min, is pinch hitting this week. Hi, Min.
Hi there. How you doing?
Pretty good. So this week we'll be discussing the episode Soul of Fire. But first, we've got some news items and a reminder on our current giveaway. Then later, some season finale spoilers. So, Min, what have you got for us?
DVR alert, Stephen Moyer will be a guest on Live with Regis and Kelly on Tuesday, September 6th. Check your local listings for times. The interview was pre-recorded last month, but we expect he'll be talking about True Blood, The Caller, and The Double. Alexander Skarsgård makes his late-night talk show debut on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon on Monday, September 12th at 12:35 and 11:35 Central on ABC. He'll be there to talk about Straw Dogs, opening the following Friday, but considering that will be the day after the True Blood finale airs, maybe he will answer what is sure to be a lot of questions about this season's last episode.
Yeah. I hope they can pry some info out of him about season 5.
Oh, I don't know. They better. There's already withdrawal setting in.
Well, Joe Manganiello announced that he'll host an event to raise funds for the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh next Sunday, September 11th. According to the website, proceeds will benefit the Division of Hematology and Oncology. If you cannot make this event, you can still help Joe and the hospital out by donating in his honor. You can get details to donate or purchase tickets to the event at www.givetochildrens.org.
Heads up, California Trubies. Sam Trammell will be appearing at the 6th Annual Surfrider Foundation Celebrity Expression Session in Malibu on Saturday, September 10th from 12 to 1 p.m. Watch Sam exhibit his surfing skills while raising funds for the Foundation's coastal preservation campaigns. For details, head on over to cessurfrider.org.
And you still have time to enter our Tarte for True Blood giveaway. We've teamed up with Tarte to give 3 winners a set of cheek stain and lip gloss from the True Blood collection, which you've heard Liz and I rave about over and over. Head over to the contest tab at True-Blood.net, but hurry, contest ends Thursday, September 8th.
Check out our Billy Doos recap for Soul of Fire and join the discussion with our other fans in the comments section.
And this week's Friday 5 by Liz was V-Induced Fantasy. She picked her favorite fantasies, or V-trips, from True Blood, and there's been some discussion about that, so head over to that and join in.
In case you missed last week's episode of True Blood Radio, it included our exclusive interview with Alexander Skarsgård. You can find it under podcast at True-Blood.net.
And now that the kids are back in school, you can take some time for yourself with a good book. Audible is offering True Blood Radio viewers a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. To download your freebie, go to audibletrial.com/trueblood. You can find all 11 Sticky Stackhouse books available in audiobook format, plus hundreds of other titles. Again, that's audibletrial.com/trueblood for your free audiobook. Well, now we're going to head into our episode discussion of Soul of Fire. Holy crap. This could have been the season finale.
Oh, it could have. They
wrapped up a bunch of storylines, and then they kind of launched us on a new one. Shall we talk about the cliffhanger first?
Sure.
Did you see that coming? I did not see that coming.
No, but Lafayette, the look on his face, he immediately switched over to Marnie. It was so scary. Oh, wow.
My jaw was on the floor. That came out of nowhere.
It was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
It was great.
There was a lot of speculation that he was channeling Marnie, that he was channeling Marianne. Because somebody over at HBO accidentally leaked the season finale preview a few days ahead of time. We had that up on True-Blood.net, And we saw that Lafayette was channeling somebody, but they were saying, the way that he was wearing his robe or the things he was wearing, people were saying that it must be Marianne, but I couldn't quite see that. But now that we know it's Marnie, that makes more sense.
Oh, this is so much better. This is better.
Yeah, I didn't care for Marianne. I mean, she was fine, but it got old.
Yes, it did. And the cheese has slid off of Marnie's cracker. And this is going to be wonderful to see Lafayette interpret that. It's going to be wonderful seeing him express that.
Yeah, Nelson, he's getting a workout. He's getting to flex his acting muscles.
I love it.
So leading up to that, we have the showdown at Moon Goddess Emporium. I was, there were several times in this episode where I was like, holy crap, what's happening? I mean, I knew that none of our lead characters were going to die, but there was just, it was heart-pounding.
They sure did like to make you think that they might make them at least hurt a little, or quite a bit. So, I like the V team, though. They look great.
Yeah, they really did. I loved Jason just ripping him up because they were going to shoot, they were going to blow up the Moon Goddess Emporium with Sookie in there. And
he gave them the devil.
It was about time.
That's true.
Go, Jason. I was rah-rahing.
I love that. He was awesome.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, the brother stepping up for the sister.
He had a fit and fell in it and just totally, I think they were even taken aback by him and didn't even know where he came from, because normally he is the, his usual, dumb self, and he just really pulled a rabbit out of the hat on that one and was awesome. Just great.
Yeah. And he was telling the truth, too, He's telling Bill, you drank from her whenever you wanted, and now you're just going to blow her up.
Like a soda fountain.
Yeah. Which was eerily and creepily foreshadowing of Eric ripping Roy's heart out, drinking it through like a straw. Oh, my gosh. Oh.
I loved it because he said... he was the dumb one that stayed by her this whole time, and he says, you'll have to go through me, and you knew what was going to happen, and then Eric just made a Slurpee out of his heart.
I just, I can't, I couldn't watch it.
I loved it.
I
loved it.
I liked what it symbolized as far as Eric being back to his old self in a lot of ways, but I just, no. I had to put my hand over my eyes. I couldn't watch it.
No, it was perfect Viking.
So, I appreciate the sentiment. I did not need the visual.
Sucking on the aorta was too
much
for you.
Okay, let's move on. Oh, my Lord. So, so Marnie correctly deduced that she had quite the bargaining chip with Sookie.
That's true.
And told Eric and Bill that she would let everyone go if they killed themselves.
Which they did.
They were going to.
Yeah, it was almost like, I love her more. No, I love her more.
I know. The looks they were giving each other and then the looks they were giving her is like, oh my gosh.
And Pam
testosterone.
Pam just had enough.
Yeah, she had. Which, the fallout from that, whoa. I did not, I figured Eric would be upset with her.
I didn't think he'd be that upset.
I didn't either. And now, I don't know what to expect from her.
The finale, I don't know where she will be.
I don't either. Eric has been her life, basically. She's been so tied to him, and now he's thrown her out. And she, when she's mad, it ain't pretty.
But she's loyal.
But will she still be loyal if she feels like he chose Sookie over her? Are we talking a woman scorned, like a Pam scorned? That's not...
I think if she's going to be mad at anybody, she'll probably be mad at Sookie.
Right. So Sookie better watch her back and her
front.
front.
Sookie's got a target on her coming and going with Debbie as well. So
yeah, we had... Oh my gosh, I'm really glad that we're getting to that storyline. But can I just say, Alcide was totally in the wrong. I mean, that was so hypocritical of him. He did not let her explain. And granted, she's been a skank in the past, and it looked bad, but had she not warranted any faith from him in the previous year that she'd been working so hard? I mean, and nothing happened.
Well, I mean, she was using, and I don't think Alcide knew that.
No, he didn't know that. He abjured her based on what he thought was betrayal with Marcus.
Well, he found her in bed with his pack leader.
Right, and I get it. I get that it looked bad, but it seemed to me like it was an overreaction, and it was an impulsive move on his part. And I just felt like just smacking him upside the head and he was awfully close to hitting her.
Yeah, and I think maybe he really never cared for her as much as he said he cared for her. Maybe he liked the idea of her more than the reality. I'm not sure.
Well, and also I think it was something along the lines of Suki's disappeared.
Yes.
And now Suki's back, and he feels like he has options.
Love the one you're with. Yes, love the one you're with, and I'm not sure. That was strange, but yeah, he totally. I think he took his chance when he had an opportunity to get rid of her, and he did.
Yes, and that's exactly how I view it. He decided he has this is his chance to get rid of her and to look like he's in the right, and so he did it. And I just don't think his motives were as honorable as he would like to pretend that they are.
I think it would have been better, because I don't think he really cared for her all that much as he said he did. It would have been better if he had just ended it.
Right. But now she's going to be completely off the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And we know where that's headed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that I was disappointed with Alcide with that storyline.
Yes, but you could see the crazy just coming over Debbie's face whenever he totally abjured her. You could just see her sanity leaving her face as soon as he did that. She was gone. That is going to line up really. Is probably going to leave us hanging the next episode.
You think, or do you think it'll be resolved in the next episode?
Oh, I don't know.
I have a feeling it'll be resolved in the next episode.
Well, they're always really good about pointing us one direction and hitting us with a frying pan
when we're not looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, look over here.
Smack.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Just when you think you know what's going to happen or what direction things are moving in, there's a new kink in the chain.
Yeah. Well, and along those lines, speaking of the Alcide and Debbie stuff, so Alcide's the one that ends up killing Marcus. So does that make him Packmaster now?
Maybe. And I didn't think Sam was going to be. He always backs down, so I felt like that somebody was going to have to clean up the mess. And so, yeah, I think Alcide, he might be the one in charge now. And, maybe that's how they move the storyline along.
Yeah, I think it was a way to get what they needed done, to let Sam have his revenge without going completely against his character. Mm-hmm. He's learned from his past mistakes, and he's not going to actually kill this guy.
Yeah.
But then Alcide, he was just done. He was done.
Yeah, and that Packmaster wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer either, so...
I don't know how he managed to become Packmaster. I mean, is that the dumbest pack ever, or what?
And he wanted Debbie to leave and be the mommy. And so,
yeah.
Wouldn't you want her to be your stepmother, mommy dearest moment there?
Oh my gosh. You know what? And there is no way that woman should even be thinking about having kids.
That would be terrible.
She does not need to be procreating or influencing young minds in any way.
No. So it proved his poor judgment right there whenever he was trying to drag her into his, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, family unit. So
yeah,
it wasn't a sad day when he went to the great beyond.
No, I'm not going to miss him at all.
No. He served his purpose.
Yep. Yep, he's done. So, but yeah, I just have to wonder if that means Alcide's now the pack leader.
I don't know. I think he definitely moves up.
Yep, I think so. So, so back at Moon Goddess Emporium, Jesus is being awesome.
Lafayette was so concerned about if he was going to put on that face.
Bless his heart.
We all were too. No one likes it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they both were just as partners were great, and were just hoodwinking Marnie, and decided to take matters in their own hands and see if they couldn't find a solution. So they were both, kudos to them.
Mhm. And I was impressed that Jesus was willing to, he said that this dark magic is not something they try to avoid bringing it up, but he did it. He did it to save his friends, knowing that it was probably going to kill Marnie.
Yes.
And then, oh my gosh, and yet he still felt like Antonia was the bad one. That he needed to get Antonia out, and that Marnie, would be back. It would be his friend again.
Well, I think
so
he had
heart.
Yeah, he had so much history with Marnie that he had known her before. Whenever I guess before when she had said she was a doormat, that he had all that history with her. He didn't realize how much all this power had corrupted her, and how she had turned into this raving lunatic. And even it was so bad that, well, you've gone crazy when even your possessing spirit wants to leave.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's pretty much a sign that it's time to reassess your priorities and your goals.
That's true. So he couldn't see it. He still cared for her, even though he had really tripped the light fantastic.
Yeah. So, and it hurt a little bit when he realized that his friend was not who he thought she was.
Mm-hmm.
It made me a little sad for him. And, I think that he will be key in getting Marnie out of Lafayette.
Well, he'll probably be the only one who can.
But I'm really concerned about him and his future on this show.
Yes, because what will it take for him to be able to do that? How far will he have to go? Because...
And this is not just his friends. This is his, this is the man that he loves.
That's true.
He's trying to save now. And I have a feeling that it's going to be the ultimate sacrifice for Jesus.
It may well be. It may well be. This is looking very grim for him.
Just when I was really, really liking him, too.
Yeah, he was kind of coming into his own and getting into his groove, and you were kind of figuring out, okay, you were starting to trust him and realize what he was. What kind of powers he had, and that he was not... Because before you didn't know whether to trust him or not, and whether he was good for Lafayette, because you favored Lafayette and you wanted to protect him. And now you realize that he cares for Lafayette, and he's going to make sure that, Lafayette's okay. And now you think, yeah, he may be called on to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to save Lafayette. And then so it just, makes you rips your heart out if he goes.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling about this for Jesus.
I don't think you're alone.
Yeah. So what else was going on? Oh, Andy in the woods.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Now, I was glad to see the fairies back. I mean, we haven't seen him in like 10 weeks.
Yeah, but if you're a fairy, are you going to present yourself to Andy? I don't know.
I'm curious about that and how she got through, because Queen Mab had closed all the portals.
Yeah.
So somehow Morella got through and...
But I noticed that
jumped Andy's bones. Well, he gave up the carbs. So.
Well, yeah, that was my thing. He gave up carbs and he gained a fairy. So maybe I need to cut back on my carbs and have an ET moment with some hot fairy somewhere.
But it does coincide with Sookie having the microwave fingers.
Yes.
See another fairy with she mentioned that she read his mind.
Yes.
So she has the telepathy and the light fingers.
Apparently, it's a standard, package fairy toolkit gift.
Yeah. So, I guess that was consistent at least. But yeah, that was just weird. And then, but it led to that really sweet scene between Andy and Arlene.
Oh, Arlene, she was wonderful, and she was so worried about him, and he finally shows up, and she's, oh, please tell me where you were. We're so worried, and he sits down and he starts explaining what happens, and you just see her face.
She's trying real hard to believe him, but it's just not in her.
And then she starts explaining, when Terry came back, and do you remember when Terry came back and he was seeing, I don't know, whatever.
He was saying he was off his meds and he was calling himself King Zignats?
Yeah, something like, yeah, King.
And
so she was just thinking, he has gone.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! And she just knew. She chalked it up to, but she would handle it really well, and she just reminded him who he was, and that he was the sheriff, and that he had somebody that just thought he was the hot stuff, and that he, and I mean, she just turned it straight around for him, and then he was like, "Yes, you're right," and then he stared at his finger. I just thought that was so cute.
Yeah. It was. It made. I was glad that Arlene got to do that.
Oh,
because
it was
often
wonderful.
She's just so shrill and almost shrewish.
She's underplayed, I think.
Yeah. So it's but usually when we see her, she's in hysterics.
Yes.
So it was nice to see her having a really a genuine and a sincere moment with her cousin-in-law.
Yes.
About a serious topic that she could have gone into hysterics about.
Yeah, and she didn't. She didn't freak out on this one. She held it together, and maybe she's growing and as a person there, and Terry's getting being a good influence on her.
Well, that, and she just saw Lafayette be possessed by a spirit and then have it be released. So.
Oh yeah.
That might have opened her eyes a little bit. I mean, that was just like 2 days ago.
So her mind is being freed there.
Mm-hmm. Being opened a little bit.
Yeah, bless her heart. That was great.
No Hoyt this episode.
No, but he was talked about.
He was. Jessica and Jason still trying to figure out what they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, but she was real quick to come to his aid. When he was laying there on the street like a little tater tot.
Yeah, he got fried.
Yeah, but everybody knew that relationship wasn't over, and that just confirmed, and it renewed their bond. And I don't know where that's going, or how long it's going to last. But when Hoyt finds out, oh my,
it's going to hit the fan.
Yeah. But I liked Jessica's new attitude. She is so over worrying about these men and is tired of, even from the vampires. She told Bill if he ever did that again, I think she said she would kill him or something. What did she say?
Yeah, I think that's right.
But she is just expanding, as she's tired of, I think she's growing out of this baby vampire thing and coming into her own, and just deciding to who she's going to feed from, and who she's going to love, and who she's going to care for, and who she's going to protect, and who she's loyal to, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's nice to see some character development from her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's everybody. Did we hit everybody?
I think most everybody.
Now, it's really nice when they have so many of the characters in on a certain storyline, because, boy, it makes the podcast go faster.
Yes, you're right.
You don't have 12 different things that you've got to deal with.
No, because they're all there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we ought to mention the circle. When Tara goes in the circle. I kind of feel like they were compelled. There was some complaint about why would she do that after she was so anti-Marnie last week. And, she and Holly were trying to break through. But at this point, I think they had established that they were terrified.
Yeah, everybody was terrified, and then Sookie wouldn't go, and then finally she did, because she said, I think she said, well, I'm trying to make sure everybody comes out of this alive, but I can't guarantee it. And then I was thinking,
which is a threat right there.
Yes, and then I'm thinking Sookie needs to grow a brain cell at some point, because she can do something, and she was standing there this whole time like, I don't know, I guess she was just frozen.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think she'd been in there for, how long had she been in there? Like an hour?
Yeah.
So it can't have been long.
So she wasn't as worn out as the other ones were, and as freaked out as they were. So she was a lot fresher. So
yeah, and kind of trying to figure out what was going on, and because I think this is her first experience really with. There was the cemetery that she got shot pretty quickly, so I think that was her first experience with Marty and trying to figure out what's happening here. Because it was also interesting that in the episode they made a point to establish that Marnie has been a part of the community for a long time. Holly was saying, you've come to my house for Thanksgiving, and and they were talking about her being kind and generous, and she's saying, well, doormat, that's what I was. But they made a point to say that she has been part of the community. So you have to think that Sookie must be in there thinking, okay, now what's going on here? This person that I've known for years, what is she doing? And I think that's why it took her a little bit to realize, okay, I am going to have to target her.
Yeah, I guess the circle was the perfect opportunity, but
to get to her without her knowing it.
Yeah, thank goodness she finally, they drug that out to the last second.
And it looked like her power was intensified because of the circle. I don't know.
Yep. Those vampires were about to be bug zapped.
Yeah, that was a really terrifying and yet funny scene. Watching them do that.
Well,
and Jason trying to push him and pull him back.
And it was terrible. But see, there Jason was again. He stepped right up there. He was great, and she kept hearing him. She kept hearing what was going on, and I guess she finally figured, okay, now or never.
Yep.
So
that was good. I think his thoughts finally got through to her, and she realized what was happening out there. So yeah. So all in all, excellent episode. Yeah, like I said, it could have been the season finale, but obviously it wasn't. So I guess we'll speculate on next week's episode in the spoiler section. But dude, what else
I need
can
a
they do to
seatbelt
us?
for next week's.
I know. It's gonna be insane.
Oh, I need a seatbelt.
Yeah.
Or a Valium or something.
Yeah. Well, let's go with our favorite quotes, our ring hookah. Favorite quotes.
Okay.
Mine was Jason's entire speech to Bill and Eric. I loved it. It was, like I said earlier, it was a long time coming, and I was proud of him for being the one to do it.
Yes. It was wonderful. He stepped up. He needed a trophy, award.
Yeah. I really wish that Sookie would have been tuned in right then, so she could have heard it.
That would have been great. He needs a ribbon or something after that. Well, mine was Pam. She had just had enough of the men, and when they were ready to kill themselves over Sookie, and she just said, the true death to save Bo Peep. And she grabbed that RPG launcher and just shot into the energy field. And it didn't work, but she had enough. It was all she could stand of them just, going back and forth over Sookie, and she just couldn't take it. She had some great lines.
I think she may have spoken for some of the fans as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm frustrated. Knock it off, you guys.
Yeah, I understand that too.
Well, we've got a comment to share with you, an email to share with you that's actually quite a moving email, and there's a little story that goes with it. It's from Sylvie, and she emailed us and says, I don't know who to thank exactly, but here it goes. I would like to thank True Blood cast and crew for making Pam's curse so real. My husband has severe lymphedema. His legs are basically rotting off from the knees down. When Pam would cuss, scream, threaten bodily harm, and have pieces come off, I could explain that's what my husband has been dealing with for over a year now. And people really understood better than if I just said lymphedema. Even when my husband saw Pam say, hey, he said, hey, I do that. I've seen a lot in my time, but nothing has ever hit as close to home as Pam and her curse. Thanks, Sylvie. And obviously we're not HBO, so what we did was we forwarded her message on to Kristen Bauer and said, we think that you would appreciate this. And she was quite moved by it, and she sent it on to the people that do the special effects that created the makeup for her, and the effects of the skin coming off. Mm-hmm. And it was, they were just really, they were moved to hear that something that they had done had such an impact on someone with this disease. So thank you for sharing that with us, Sylvie. We got permission from her to share that with everybody here on the podcast. And as always, if you have a comment or question, you can email us at webmaster@True-Blood.net. So now we're going to move into the spoilers section. If you don't want any spoilers for next episode, for the season finale, then now's the time to turn us off. Otherwise, we don't have any print spoilers to share with you, but we, of course, saw the finale preview. I said earlier it got leaked a little bit early, but now we can talk about it here. Creepy. A completely different style than what they've ever done before. And I get goosebumps every time I see it. Ugh.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So the season finale takes place on Halloween. And so people are dressed up in different costumes. And it starts with this tinkling music. And we're tracking a Red Riding Hood going through the woods.
I did see that part.
Yeah, my first instinct was that was Sookie, but some people are speculating that it is Jessica or, someone, some evil person, just, dressed up as Red Riding Hood. So it looks like it's the woods between Sookie's house and Bill's house, or, Sookie's house and the cemetery, but we're not really given a good clear shot of that, because it's the preview. They're not going to show us.
No.
There's also a black werewolf that shows up. And originally we thought that was Marcus because his wolf was black, but he's dead now, so it can't be him.
I don't think there was another wolf. That's got to be a new one.
I'm wondering if it's this Patrick character, Terry's old friend that comes to visit.
I guess it would have to be, maybe.
It would coincide. I mean, there's got to be more to this guy than meets the eye, of course.
Mm-hmm. There's always more that meets the eye.
And for him to show up right after the pack leader's killed, that seems suspicious. So I'm kind of leaning towards the Black Wolf as Patrick, and he's there to take over the pack.
Well, if Alcide doesn't take over, then somebody's going to fight for leadership. So that's definitely going to bring in, I guess, wolves searching for leadership.
Yeah, that's true. There can't be a power vacuum, so someone's going to have to come through. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, what else did we see? Let's see. Oh, there was Holly dressed as a fairy, which was just funny. And she was talking about Halloween and what it means, and the spirits and all of that stuff. But I don't know if it's just her, or if it's supposed to be this way, if it's just the way that she looks or what. But she was looking kind of really scary.
She looked really freaky in the little bit that I did see, and she was talking about how it coincided with the High Holy Day, the Wiccans' High Holy Day.
Yeah, their New Year.
So there's a lot of power, especially at a certain time or something.
And it just, like I said, I don't know if it was just the way that she looked just because that's the way she looks, or if it was supposed to feel ominous. But it did feel ominous. I was a little creeped out.
Well, they've got to set this thing up for the season 5. So something's going to have to kick this off.
And the fact that she was dressed as a fairy also, I found very pertinent.
Well, and then they also started showing up, already.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Is she's saying this and saying that this is the high holy day, and I don't know, foreshadowing.
And didn't she say that the veil between worlds was thinner?
Right. So that's why, and I think it's the night after this this episode, Soul of Fire. I think it's the next night. So that could be how Morella was able to come through. It's because the veil was, it was almost Halloween, so it was thin. Or actually, it could have been after midnight, and therefore it actually was already Halloween. But I don't know. Let's see. Sookie. Well, we see Eric and Bill tied to a stake and being burnt.
Yes.
It would appear. And Sookie crying, although the cuts from that, I don't know.
She's always crying.
Well, the cuts from that, I mean, she was devastated. Whatever had happened or was happening, she was just devastated. But the way that was cut, I don't know.
The two were related.
Yeah, it seems a little... Yeah. But, I'm suspicious. I'm just suspicious of everything on this show.
well, because we've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is not as it seems.
No. So I think those are the high points of the preview. Mostly it was just creepy and exciting.
However it ends, I'm sure it's going to be like, oh no. And then you have to wait.
9 months.
Oh, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah. We've done it before. We can do it again.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Okay. Well, that is our show for this week. Be sure to stop by True-Blood.net for the latest True Blood news, spoilers, and more during the week. And you can follow us on Twitter at True-Blood.net. Thank you, men, for sitting in for Liz. And thank you all for watching.
You can subscribe to True Blood Radio on iTunes at the link showing on the screen. Don't forget to send in your comments or questions to webmaster@true-blood.net.
And we'll see you next week, Troobies.